Drew Brees and Sean Payton forever altered the New Orleans Saints. Over their 15-year run, they took the Aints from a laughing stock to one of the most memorable offensive teams of all time and a perennial Super Bowl contender, with it all culminating in a Super Bowl victory in 2010. But it was the next season in 2011 where they took a blowtorch to NFL defenses and had what I am ranking as the 5th greatest offensive season ever. And in this video, I'm going to recreate their offense for you to use in Madden 23. We'll be breaking down 9 different plays in either empty or I form looks, and we will be running it all out of the Saints Playbook. Now, their passing attack all starts with the legend Drew Brees, the ultimate point guard at quarterback who could control the whole game with the quick passing game, and all this stemmed from his ability to get to the line, diagnose defenses, and then deliver perfectly placed passes to open receivers before the defense even knew what hit them. The first play we are looking at is Y stick in gun empty Y Saint. Now, this is a design zone beater that is a great third down call. Here we always want the trips to the wide side, then take the running back who is split out, put him on a whip and motion him in. Then take the outside receiver on the trip side and put him on a comeback. So at the snap, you want to look to the middle receiver on the trip side and read the flat defender. If he starts to back up and get underneath the comeback route, then you just want to quickly throw the out route in along the sideline. Then if at the snap, the flat defender stays down on the out route, you want to look inside to the tight end on the hitch route. He will sit down against zone, and if the hooks stay inside, then just fire this in underneath. This is a super consistent route at finding the soft spots in zone coverage for easy completions. Then if you see the user and the hooks bite down on the tight end sitting down, we have this shallow post coming in behind them, and you just want to throw this as soon as you see the lane open versus zone coverage. This is amazing at really making them pay when they start to play downhill and be aggressive to take away the underneath routes, and you can just fire this in behind them. Then on the backside, we have our whip. Now we can throw this versus zone if they're overloading the trip side. Then as the whip cuts out, you can fire it in and pick up those easy yards. But this is a great option if they switch it up and call man. If you see man at the snap, this is the first place you want to go, and as he cuts out to the sideline, throw it in. Now, over the past 30 years, the NFL has been changing and turned into an offensive game with star quarterbacks at the center of the team on the field, and then creative genius level coaches designing new explosive ways to attack offensively. So I wanted to break down the top 5 offenses ever and show you how you can run each of them in Madden. Now, number 5 through number 2 will each have one video breaking down around 10 plays for each one, but then the number 1 offense will be a full scheme breakdown where I give you 5+ videos based around that offense. Now leave a comment down below who you think will be in the rest of the top 5. So the 2011 Saints are coming in at number 5 of my all-time greatest NFL offenses. They still hold the record for the most yards in a season with an astounding 7,474. But they actually played offensively a little bit different than the rest of the teams in the top 5. They were incredibly balanced. They finished 6th in the NFL in rushing in 2011 with 2,127 yards, while also leading the league in passing yards, with Drew Brees actually setting the all-time passing yard mark in a season with a record at the time of 5,476. Then the Saints also scored an absolute ton, racking up 34.2 points per game, good for the 7th most ever in a season in NFL history. Now, as much as the Saints were a deadly passing attack, they also had balance, and they used a 3 running back approach to run the ball at a super consistent rate. They had Darren Sproles, who was their passing back and who would get the ball on their shotgun carries, but when they were under center, they had 2 big backs who could rack up tough yards in Pierre Thomas, who was really a do-it-all player, and then a young rookie Heisman winner named Mark Ingram. Now, the first run we are looking at is 95 Mike in I form close flex. This is an excellent downhill run play that is super quick hitting and can be really explosive by allowing us to get in behind our blockers, and this adds a really physical run element to our scheme. This also has a fullback getting downhill and leading the way for us, blowing up linebackers and opening up some big holes for us to exploit. Next, we have inside zone in weak close flex. Now, for this run, we actually want to grab one of our receivers and motion them over to the tight end side. This will give us an extra blocker in the run game. Now, at the snap, we want to hit this up right away. This is an inside zone, so our aim point should be right inside the tackle, and you want to get downhill really quick. And this, once again, is going to allow you to pick up some really explosive gains with this run. Then off of the run game, the Saints would employ a deadly play action pass game. This would help their offense add explosive shots down the field once the defense was starting to get aggressive aggressive to stop the run. This is why having the 6th ranked run game was huge. This opened up so many opportunities for them to attack down the field. First, we will look at PA tight end corner in I form close flex, and it is designed to attack zone coverage. Now for this setup, have the tight end to the wide side, then take the outside receiver on the backside, put him on a fade and motion him over. Now here you will have a play action fake, and you want to look to the wide side first and read the flat defender. He stays shallow, then you will have the tight end corner coming in over his head that you can fire in along the sideline. This is a great corner route at getting vertical down the field and picking up some big gains behind zone coverage. And after the snap, if you see the flat defender staying deep, getting underneath the corner route, then we have the fullback in the flat that you can just check it down to him underneath and let him pick up those tough rack yards. Then if after the snap you see the user leave the middle of the field to run with the corner route, then you have this backside post that you can rifle in over the middle of the field. This is an excellent route at getting into the soft spots of zone coverage and making them pay if the user leaves the middle of the field. Next, we have PA tight end corner and I form close once again. This setup is designed to attack man coverage, and for this setup, have the tight end to the short side of the field, then block your fullback, then put your running back on an out route to the tight end side, then put the outside receiver on the double side on a whip. The first read here is going to be the C route that cuts over the middle. After you snap the ball, wait for him to cut, and I have short in a lead on this player, and this will allow you to get even more separation over the middle, and you can fire this in and pick up huge gains. I picked up multiple 70+ yard touchdowns against man coverage with this route. This is great against any man defense where they have no middle safety, and this is going to leave the whole middle of the field open for huge gains from this route. And if at the snap you don't like the look of the post, you can look down to the whip underneath that you can throw as he cuts to the sideline, and this is going to get super easy separation against man coverage for consistent yards. Then you can also look to the other side of the field to the tight end on the corner route, and you want to throw this as he cuts to the sideline for really nice gains, or you can look down to the running back underneath, and if the linebacker is late reacting, then there's an easy check down underneath for you as well. Now in the Saints offense, they had some super unique players that helped make this scheme so successful. The first is obviously the QB with Drew Brees at the helm. They had an all-time great who was a consummate pro and had a brain like a computer that allowed him to pick apart any defense, and he had enough arm strength to put the ball wherever it was needed. His 2011 season was arguably his best. He set the then NFL record with 5,476 passing yards and had 46 touchdowns. Now in this spot, I am using Russell Wilson. He has a similar shorter stature, and he can be a point guard and deliver this ball wherever we need it. Then I also have set feet lead on my QB to make sure he gets that extra zip on the ball and he can get it where we need it in a hurry. Next at tight end, they had Jimmy Graham. He is one of the freakiest players in NFL history. Standing at 6'7", he could moss anyone and make plays over the top, and then he also had the speed to get vertical down the field and make some big time plays, and he is one of the most unstoppable weapons ever at the tight end position when he was in his prime. In the 2011 season, Jimmy picked up 99 receptions for 1,310 yards and caught 11 touchdown passes. Now here I'm using Greg Olsen, and he can do everything that Jimmy could. We use him to get vertical down the field a ton in this scheme, but we also have him sitting down against zone and picking up those possession type receptions underneath. Then also have short and a lead on this player to make sure you can get better separation against man coverage down the field. Then their number one receiver, they had the Condor Marcus Colston. He was 6'5" and was an amazing possession receiver who could catch any ball thrown his way, and he was just incredibly reliable in this offense. In 2011, he caught 80 balls for 1,143 yards and 8 TDs in only 14 games. In this spot, I am using Calvin Johnson. He will play in the slot in our empty formation. He will be our go-to player. We will throw him the ball deep down the field for big gains, but he will also catch a ton of balls underneath in that possession style role like Colston did. Then I'm also using short and elite, helping him get a ton of separation down the field versus man coverage. Then for their running backs, they had a receiving back who they would use a ton in their shotgun looks in Darren Sproles. He had a crazy season with 1,300 total yards from scrimmage. And for our offense in this role, we are going to be using Edgerrin James, who brings a ton of the receiving ability like Sproles. Then when they wanted to get physical and run under center, they used Pierre Thomas or Mark Ingram. And our answer here for our I-form running back is going to be Marshawn Lynch, who is the perfect back to bring that physical downhill element to this offense. Now, if you want to unlock even more for this scheme, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now is part 2 of this Saints scheme, where I break down 10 more plays to give you so many more options to attack your opponent in anything they throw your way in this Saints offense. I give you multiple more man beaters to attack the current Madden meta, and then I give you a ton of ways to attack zone coverage all over the field, whether it's deep on one play touchdowns touchdowns or spreading the ball around underneath. Then up on Scheme Kings, you can also get access to all my past schemes like my ultimate mobile QB offense and my Alabama Nick Saban defense. Then if you want to check out anything on the site and the rest of the top 5 offenses that I'll be breaking down in the future, then you can use code TOP5 at checkout for 50% off of your first month. This sale will run until November 15th. So if you want to check out Scheme Kings, I will leave a link for it down in the description below. Now, the mastermind of this whole offense was Sean Payton. He will go down as one of the greatest play callers and designers of offense in the history of the NFL, and constructing a passing game to attack the middle and intermediate areas of the field is where he excelled. And using his 2 huge weapons in Graham and Colston in this area of the field was a way to rack up consistent big plays all season long. First, we are breaking down Saints Fork in MTY Saint. This is my go-to play in this whole Saints scheme against zone coverage. To set it up, first have the trips to the wide side, then put the outside receiver on the wide side on a streak, then take the backside running back that is split out and put him on a whip. So first, always look to the wide side, and you're going to have this flood concept. So read the flat defender, and if he stays shallow at all, then you can just wait for this corner route in along the sideline and hit it for big gains. This route will get open an absolute ton for you and is just a super consistent gainer down the field. Then if the flat defender stays back at the snap, you can just quick throw the tight end in the flat for super easy gains underneath. You want to get the ball out quick and force them to play hard flats, or you can just make this throw all day and rack up easy yards. Then if at the snap the user leaves the middle to go to the trip side, then we have this nasty post that comes in over the middle for really nice gains against zone coverage. This route will get in behind hook zones and stay in front of deep blues to give us an excellent third read on this play. Then lastly, you have the backside whip. So if they overplay to the trip side but the deep post isn't open, that is where you can go to the whip on the backside for some easy yards. Next, we have Saints Fork and MTY Saint once again. This is going to be our go-to man-beating setup. To set it up, have the trips to the wide side, then take the outside player on the trip side, put him on a slant, then take the tight end and put him on a whip, then take the backside running back and put him on a whip as well. Now, the first place I look here is the corner route. Now, I've shortened a lead on this player, and as he cuts out, he is going to get incredible separation, and you can pick up huge yards basically every time you go to this route. I've tested this, and even if they shade outside, this route will still get open. So this is just one of the best ways to beat man that you will find. Next, we have the whip from the tight end. It is a great option if they are bringing heat, and you can just fire it in underneath and get it out of your hands before the blitz can get home. Next, we have the backside post. You want to throw this as the post cuts back into the inside, and you can get like 2 steps on the corner and be gone down the middle for 1 play touchdowns. This is a great option against a 0-man look with no safeties back, as long as you can get the ball out before the blitz gets home. It can also be great against 2 high 2-man under looks, and as he cuts into the middle, you can split the safeties and pick up huge gains once again. And for the fourth option, you have the running back on the whip as well, and this is a great way to beat the blitz. If the user jumps to the trip side to take that away, you will still have a really good check down option. Then we have slant flood in MTY Saint. This is another great zone beater. But this setup have the trips to the wide side, then put the outside receiver on that side on a comeback, then put the slot receiver on the double side on a streak. Now first, check if it's single high, and if it is, you want to check the wide side streak up the seam, and unless the user takes it, you will be wide open for a really easy gain. Next, if the seam isn't there, look to the out route from the tight end. If they have hard flats on the field, they're going to stay shallow, then you can just throw this in right over their head as he cuts out. Or if the flat defenders are getting depth, they will actually get pulled outside by the comeback, and you can throw this in as the tight end cuts towards the sideline. Then if the user leaves the middle of the field to take the seam route or jump the tight end out route, then you have the running back attacking the middle of the field, replacing the user, and this is a really nice gainer as well. Then this Saints team would still take deep shots down the field, and when they did, they would use their smaller deep threats who had a ton of speed and could really blow the top off any D. They were Robert Meacham and Devery Henderson, who each had over 500 yards receiving on the season, and both of them averaged over 15.5 yards per reception. Now here we're going to look at Saints drag in MTY Saint. This is going to be a great play to hit zone coverage deep for 1 play touchdowns. Here have the trips to the wide side, then take the running back, put him on a streak and motion him in. Then you want to put your tight end on a flat route. Now against cover 2, you will just drop back and see the streak is going to hold that deep half inside, and the slot fade route is going to get wide open, drifting to the sideline, and you can pass lead this up and away towards the the sideline for easy, huge gains down the field. Then versus cover 3, it works the same way. The streak will hold in the deep third, and the slot fade will get open deep, and you can fire in, pass lead it up and away, but the window here will be a little tighter, so you might not score, but you can still pick up some huge gains. Now, this Saints scheme is going to allow you to dice up any defense you come up against. But right now in Madden, man coverage is everywhere. So if you need a scheme that was specifically designed to attack man coverage, but you can also run out of the Saints playbook so you can use it with everything you learned today, you need to check out this video right here to start shredding man coverage.